Hello everyone, and welcome to my first vlog here at keeperofthehome.org. I have a book that I want to share with you today, and I thought it might be kind of fun to tell you about it in a video instead of writing a post about it. So the book that I'm going to talk about today is Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. Here's the cover of it, backwards for you. It's by Dr. Weston A. Price. And I just got this book for my birthday a few weeks ago, and I have almost completely read this big, thick book. I've been devouring it because it is a fascinating, fascinating book. And so I really wanted to share with you what I've been learning about. And I thought I should tell you about a new habit that I've been developing lately, sort of a strange one. Here it is. I'm really fascinated with people's nostrils lately. I've developed this really strange new habit of looking at people's nostrils, kind of scrutinizing them, looking at their face shape, looking at their teeth a lot. And if you read the book, you'll understand why. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it as I go on. But I'll start out by telling you who Dr. Price was. He was a dentist and a researcher in the 1930s and 40s. And basically how this book came about is he began to notice basically degenerative health was happening, especially in his dental practice. He was seeing a lot of people with really bad dental decay, not to mention a lot of other health problems. And he wanted to know what was causing this. He wanted to see whether it was due to nutrition and to the current American diet. And so he really wanted to dig into this further. And so the way that he did that was he decided to study, to find primitive, isolated people groups all over the world in different climates, in completely different places, eating different foods. And he wanted to see how healthy they were. He wanted to examine the levels of dental decay in their populations, and he also wanted to see what happened when they were exposed to modern foods. And by modern foods, I mean processed foods, white flour, white sugar, vegetable oils, things like that. So that is the premise of his studies and the research upon which his book is based. So basically, he went out in search of people who were living on the traditional native diets. And so to find that, he had to find the most isolated people groups that he could find at that time in the 30s, which is when his studies took place. So he went to places like the Swiss Alps, where there were no roads going in, so the villages were still very isolated. He went to northern Canada, to Alaska, and he examined the Eskimo peoples and a lot of the native Indian people as well. He also went to the South Seas Island to look at different Polynesian groups. He looked at the Australian Aborigines and also those in New Zealand. He looked at the Peruvian Indians, went a little bit into the Brazilian rainforest. He also went to the Scottish Isles, the Outer Hebrides Islands in Scotland. And basically, he found these people who were incredibly, astonishingly healthy. And that's what the first part of his book shows, is it goes through each different people group, shows you pictures of these people. It tells you about the research, the work that he did there, and the results of that research. And one of the big things that comes out in his book is that these people did not have the dental decay that was happening in the general American population at that time. When he researched them, he did very careful examinations of the mouths of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And when he figured out the numbers, it was incredibly low. Some of these people groups had as low as 1% dental decay or cavities present. 1%. Some of them were even as low as 0.5% or 0% cavities among the whole population when he studied them, which is really phenomenal because I don't know about you, but I don't know hardly anybody in my whole life who doesn't have any cavities. I think I've met one or two people maybe, but I would say it must be at least 90%, if not more like 95 or even upwards of that. Certainly in the more recent generations that have dental cavities and have a significant amount of dental decay. Now, certainly we have a lot better dental care than they would have had back then. But our dental care is still taking care of the cavities that are occurring. And so